Can he do it again? Can he do it again?
Well, let's find out. He wouldn't want him to fall on the first hurdle, honestly, but the person standing in his way after coming back from what seemed to be a 2-0 whitewash is the one and only Check 6 Sleep. He is in the red trunks, and he is playing Zerg to the south of the Antigua shipyard versus his opponent, Evil Genius's Huck. He is in the blue trunks, playing Protoss to the north.
And as I was, well, should I just elaborate a little bit more on my very brief information that I gave you guys? It's very difficult for Protoss players on this map, and the reason for it is wherever you are. Let's just take an example of Cloud Kingdom. Imagine how Huck held up. He sat on his third base, he force fielded, and he defended. Now put that same scenario on Antigua Shipyard, where if you do that, your opponent says, all right, I'm going to your natural, and you're going to lose your natural because you force fielded yourself in. And that can happen if Huck defends his natural. His opponent goes to the third base, and you can't defend 2 locations with 1 army on this map like you can on any other map. And that's the key point here that Huck has to be so careful about. He may actually say, screw it, I'm going to do 2 base all in, 2 base timing, but then if we go back to the first game of this series, we said and stated that Sleep is absolutely incredible at defending those. So Huck automatically in a very difficult position going into this map.
Yeah, it's tricky. No real doubt about that one. The spawning pool coming down. 14 supply here for Sleep. In fact, 15 there, just a little bit later because, hey, why not? A little bit casual. Nice little economic focus here from Sleep. And as you pointed out, what kind of timing could possibly work against Sleep? Because I tell you, all the games that I've watched from Sleep against Protoss, there's only one timing that beats him, and that's cannons. Cannons.
In control.
In control.
You're the cannon boss.
He really is. You know, that was a 2-0 sweep. Very nice cannon play, but nothing else seems to work. And unfortunately, that can drag it along to the macro game, and horrible things can happen as a result of what you just mentioned, the difficulty of defending that third. And Huck doing a great job of holding up here and dropping the pylon at the last moment just to slow him down. Could be indicative that he wants to go for that big 2-base play.
Huck did see the gas from his opponent once again, so he knows not to be like, all right, I'm just going to go gateway before Forge to rush his warp gate timing out. We'll get the Forge first here to be safe, to get the cannon down as well, of course, because he knows Lings are coming. But we only saw 2 Lings come out from his opponent, who's, well, now he's making 2 more, which is, okay, a little bit weird, but I was going to say something else, but that doesn't matter anymore as he tricked me. But we do have a hatchery coming down from Sleep. But with the kind of strategies, the timings that Huck could deploy here, with going Nexus first, because he has an earlier Nexus, he has earlier Chrono Boost available. He has the earlier second set of probes available. So it's not really going to be like a +1 attack because that's a fast, swift timing.
Exactly.
It's, if anything, it's going to be a very solid, strong, heavy gateway timing attack. Even Warp Gate, not Warp Gate, sorry, with robotics facility into Warp Prism, Sentry kind of style, or mortal pushes, anything along those lines. But for now, we see 2 very pesky little midgies, as we say in England.
Midgies, yes. The Americans don't know about the midgies. They're horrible little creatures, honestly.
It's like a mini mosquito.
Yeah, they are usually hanging around Scotland. I used to go to Scotland a lot as a kid, and I hated the midgies. That was the worst thing. And Zerglings are essentially that. In fact, when they get their wings, they look very much like midgies, but thankfully they cannot fly, and that is a blessing that we are all very thankful for. And annoyingly enough, they both get away as well.
Yeah, they always get away. Huck, though, one thing that hasn't got away on this game, Total Biscuit, is Huck's probe on the right-hand side there. That is still alive, that still could throw down a pylon. But we did just see very, very shortly there a click on the probe, a red click, which means one Ling is in hot pursuit and is about to find it.
Yep. Somebody saw it. He's going to grab it very, very quickly now. That pesky little midgie going to take a bite out of that probe, and it ain't getting away. Zealot now pushing across the map, and it doesn't really want to get too close. Taking a little bit of damage there. There is the Robo coming down. Still, what do you reckon from this position?
Well, first of all, the Zealot comes in, it sees the third base is fine, it forces a few more units out to try to slow the drone count down. And it also sees a lot of links. So first of all, it's a little bit scary from Huck, but he's still going to follow this through. The annoyance is losing that probe. That's very annoying for Huck. That probably his plan was revolving around it. But most likely it's going to be straight for that Warp Prism. Or it's either can be Warp Prism or start the Immortals very early here. But if he starts the Immortals early, he doesn't have gas to build sentries. So it leads towards a Warp Prism. And that's what I think is going to be. He's thrown down 3 additional gateways now as well, and he is going to try a timing against an opponent that is very, very strong at holding these kind of things.
Indeed. His opponent currently a bit blind on the subject of these kind of things right now. The Warp Prism to follow up there. And yeah, that's what Sleep currently sees, which is precisely not a lot at all. 2 more simulators being taken down to the bottom, and that is spotted. But that's not necessarily revealing of anything.
And for some reason, Sleep's only at 40 drones at 750. He's about to go up to 50 or so, but I think he may have just messed up on an overload or something. I wasn't watching closely, but his drone count's a little bit lower than it should do, which obviously helps Huck. The layer now starts at 8 minutes. He takes the rest of the gases, which is completely normal here. But the Warp Prism's, it's out now somewhere, I think, isn't it? Yeah, it's out.
It's out.
It's at the top right, and it's making its movement now with a couple of sentries inside. What he's going to look to do here is to deploy the Warp Prism, of course, to get out the sentries, to force field the ramp, to walk in Zealots. That's what Huck's plan is. Will it work?
Yep, well, we saw the Overlord shut down here. Overlord spread for Sleep is not looking good here to intercept this drop. He's got one over there that's actually out of position. And by the... Ooh, a Spore Crawler being put down in an awkward spot, but that Warp Prism gets there before that, and that might be denied.
Ooh. Just looking at the Warp Prism, it's actually not going to the ramp. It's actually going to force field around the mineralize. He's going to use it as a choke with these force fields. Let's have a look how effective
make it
this is.
do. Let's see how he pulls it off. Waits for the links to come in. Quick pick up there. Oh, cancel as he undeploys, and not a good start there for Huck. The Spore Crawler comes out at the right time, and that Zealot is feeling rather abandoned by its fellows.
It's a big amount of investment Huck just took in this aggression.
Yep, and he didn't pull it off.
And now he's on the retreat. There's a lot of lings out, 57 drones. His opponent knows there's no third nexus, so he's not going to build drones. He's just going to build units. Ventral Sacs, I think's a mistake here, but like Wolf said, is a little bit of a weird to see at this high level a mistake being made like that, but it doesn't make too much sense here. It's a lot of gas taken away from roaches and upgrades.
Yeah, it's intriguing. I wonder what he plans to actually do with that. Nice little exploitative drop there. Traps the Queen. Really nice little cute maneuver there by Huck, and good micro as well. Picks up the injured sentry to prevent that from going down, and that's a very spiteful Overlord covering those sentries in creep.
3 extra gateways gone down. The Immortal production is out. He just has he has a single one on the way, sorry. But this is a very tense little moment here. Huck is going to try to expand. He's not going to put everything on the line.
Yeah.
He's not just going to be like, screw it, guys. I'm all in. No.
Well, he can't from this position. No, he had to do more damage with that Warp Prism attack to make that viable, and it just didn't happen.
And he's starting to wall himself off on this third base, but now Sleep is like, well, okay, so if he's not going to all in me, if he's not coming to me, what is he doing? And now he's using these links to scat out. He, already saw the probe, and the Overlord saw the probe and the pylon. Now a link sees everything. Now is the choice that Sleep makes. Does he take a 4, or does he continue to pylon on? Ventral Sax is actually going to complete here, and he does have Overlord speed. So it indeed was not a mistake, as we did say, it probably isn't a mistake.
Yep, don't make mistakes at this level. Not of that
and
kind of...
Look at that.
That's a classic. It really, really is. We've seen this pop up every now and again. Never really rose to prominence as a strategy, but it's always a hell of a lot of fun to watch. The Baneling Rain. Will he be able to pull that off against a force like that from Huck? Will Huck's control be good enough to get him away from those Banelings, more to the point, and not take severe damage?
And Huck has no idea about this. He actually doesn't have an observer. The Warp Prism's been pushed away all the time. So Huck is very much so in the dark. He's trying to just play defensive setup, but now he sees it. But he doesn't see the Overlords yet. He doesn't know about the Banelings behind this.
Yeah, that's really, really dangerous, honestly. And let's see how it turns out. The Warp Prism is behind that.
Yeah,
it's gonna see the Overlords just before it comes in. That might give him the information that he needs. It's gonna be obvious that something is in there, so he needs to keep it away from his army, which he's currently managed to do, but that force isn't going anywhere. Sleep has every intention of doing more damage, tracks it with the Warp Prism, keeps an eye on it, and now preemptively spreads out, which is very important. Force field's not perfect here from Huck. A hell of a lot of force field spent to kill a bunch of links. Not necessarily liking that, because here comes the aggression on the third, and now the force field count's severely limited.
And now his army's about to be on that ramp, and that could be a maneuver Sleep wants to take, but he's going to return. Just looking for the best opportunity. He's taking a fourth base in the background.
Yep.
He's getting a spy, and he has 1,200 gas banked up. He will want to tech switch here again to Mutalisks, but he can't get the damage done, and Huck is successfully spread out, positioned well. and warded this away.
I like the fact that Blink's about to finish as well. That's going to be crucial. That will allow him to snipe those overlords before the drops come in, give him a hell of a lot more maneuverability than he would have. +2 about to kick in as well. Upgrade counts for Huck looking good this time around. Doesn't forget his Twilight Council. He can jump out of that. The Banelings move in, but he decides not to drop them. This force is really nicely deployed here. Will it be good enough? Here come the force field, and now needs to back away from those Banelings that are coming crashing down. Force field's deployed in a nice little tower defense style maze here.
Oh, the Banelings are aiming for the Stalkers, and that is a great strategical decision, especially considering Mutalisks are following this up.
Here
But
comes
look how many
counterattack.
Stalkers remain.
A hell of a lot. He got a lot of warpins after that. That was not as effective as it should have been. And here comes the counterattack. He's got +2. His stalker count is high. His gateway count is high. And he's already moving across the map with Blink.
Oh my god, Mutalisks don't have any upgrades. Huck has +2. He has Blink. This is what he should have had last game. And now let's see the difference. Let's compare games, everybody. Let's sit back and have a look what the difference means when you have +2 and you have Blink.
Yeah, it's going to be menacing, man. It really is. +1's not even finished for the Mutalisks. They are completely naked for this assault as Huck goes for it. And here comes the force field deployment to try and keep the links off the Stalkers. He isn't able to do that just yet, but there's not enough links to pull it back. Huge amounts of damage being inflicted on that Mutalisk count.
And there are 40 lings, 50 lings about to come in. Huck just needs a force field a couple of times to protect his units, but the Mutalisks, they can't. They don't have the presence like they did last game. They can't make Huck pull back.
No, they can't. He's going for it right now, and it's exactly what he should be doing. The Mutalisks move around the side with Link support coming in. That's going to do a lot of damage to the Stalkers, but they're still +2 Stalkers with Blink. Excellent control here once again by Huck. Keeps a bunch of his Stalkers alive. Yet more damage being done to the Mutalisk count. More flooding in. Currently only 16. Looking to hold on until he can get +1. The +2 for the Lings is well away, so Huck keeps that critical upgrade advantage as reinforcements come in. Once again, picked off nicely there by Sleep.
And +1 attack now finishes for the Mutalisk, and he is going to try and swing around, but Huck doesn't care. Huck is in such a dominant position now, and especially because Lings, they have 0 upgrades, and I'll explain that a little bit more after, but Huck is closing this series up,
and
it is sealed away forever. It's in the bottom of the ocean.
Indeed, it is in a locked casket. It is, in fact, Davy Jones's locker, and he's not getting it back anytime soon. Sleep falls below 80 supply. Huck looking dominant at this point. Sleep trying to hold on as best he can, looking to hold on to get that +2 to damage that Stalker count severely, but right now that is not happening. The Mutalisks have picked off some reinforcements here and there. They're a constant nuisance, but they are not game-winning.
Yeah, they're not. And now the Mutalisks go in. Look, they don't really do anything now to these Mutalisks. Huck still has a good economy, has good production. He's warping units at the same time. Huck is shredding the natural. He will then lead into the main base and look to close up this game. And Sleep has been put to sleep.
Yes, he has, Apollo, and he's not getting up anytime soon. Oh dear, this is not looking good for him at all. Huck goes for the aggressive push into the main, and there's the GG, and Huck gets his revenge from that qualifier and comes back from that crushing defeat in the second game, which he really should have had. Yep. Obviously not allowing his psychology to get the better of him there.
And Huck moves on to the next round here at MLG. And have you seen the film The Samurai with Tom Cruise?
The Last Samurai?
Yeah,
I have indeed.
The Last Samurai. That's what Lings look like when they have 0 upgrades and Stalkers have +2. All right?
Pretty much.
They come running in, and then
the Gatling gun mows them down.
That's what it looks like. That's exactly what it looks like. Do you agree with me, Wolf and DJ Wheat? Do you agree?
I'm down with your explanation on that.
I like it.
You know, this game, you guys said it so well when you were commenting, saying that basically this is what he should have had the game before. But in this case, when you go for the Mutalisk switch, if you have done some sort of damage to your opponent, some sort of really crippling power that you've had earlier that you did to your opponent, that's when your Mutalisk count really matters. That's when you can actually damage. But in this case, he actually just wasn't able to do the damage. He went for Banelings, and it didn't really work out for him. So from this case, Huck was actually able to be aggressive. Use the Mutalisk to keep Huck off your back. But if Huck's like already barreling down the front of the map, getting the watchtower, and just moving in, you don't have time to use those Mutalisks. He didn't have time to build his Mutalisk count. He was sending the Mutalisks across the map. They couldn't turn Huck around fast enough, so Huck just took him out as a result.
I also would question, I mean, the Baneling drops, right? It was pretty apparent to me that Huck, okay, there's a lot of Overlords floating over here. Something's going to happen. Maybe it was going to be a drop inside his main, but I think he kind of figured it out, right? At that point, it's almost questionable. You know, why didn't Sleep try to just Baneling Rain the mineral lines, do
Exactly.
some sort of damage with that huge investment that he just made?
Yeah.
And that probably set him back quite a bit in the mutas.
He had so many Banelings in those Overlords. He could have tried to drop in the main, even on power gateways. He had so much more opportunity with those they didn't use. I feel like he kind of got confused or frustrated with what Huck was doing, his movements. He was like, how do I use these Banelings exactly?
Huck was spread out perfectly. I mean, even though the force field's getting depleted, I was like, oh no, this is going to be bad because he's going to have no force fields left. But that just wasn't the case. So, I mean, questionable decision. But as you guys said, TB and Apollo, like this is what Game 2 should have been, right?
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
And, well, Huck gets his revenge from the qualifiers now nailed down. But that's us done, man.
Yeah, we're done
actually
for
going
the
to trade
moment.
places with those two guys over
Indeed.
there.
That's going to be fun because we've got Ryung from Team Slayers versus Millennium Stefano, and it's going to be Wolf and DJ Wheat casting.
That's going to be a great series, guys, so stay tuned. It's going to be a little switch over, and then the games will keep on rolling.
You are currently watching MLG Spring Arena number 2, folks. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.